Next question before we jump on to other aspects. And how many of you watched? I think that is the first. Let me just show the course again. Tell me about yourself. Let me go share screen, stop sharing, and share again. Okay. Tell me about yourself. How many have you prepared this answer? Have you had a chance? But this will open you up to every single thing from here on. This will set the stage. This will set the stage. So definitely start with this question, and it's going to be the first module. So make sure that you hit this first. Okay, let me just go over an answer here, so we can just go through this. All right. So not psychiatry. Let's do family medicine. Okay. So let's just go through it. Okay. Thank you for your question. I've always have been passionate about serving my community, and my journey into medicine was inspired by my experiences growing up in a medically diverse, underserved area. And from a young age, I saw how difficult it was for many people to access healthcare. And I knew that I wanted to work in a specialty that I could build long-term relationships with patients and improve the overall health of my communities. And during my clinical rotations, I was particularly drawn to family medicine because of the continuity of care that it provides. I love the idea of treating patients at every stage of their life, and being part of their healthcare journey is very important to me. One of the most rewarding experiences I had was working with a family who had recently immigrated to the US, and I helped care of their newborn, manage their mother's postpartum health, and also support the father through chronic disease management. This was an incredible experience to see how family medicine allows me to impact the entire family unit, and their well-being. I'm excited to pursue family medicine because I believe it's a specialty where I can truly make a difference, both in individual patients' lives and within the community. A relatable example that we have over here. I will never forget how grateful the family was when we managed to find a solution for their father's diabetes while also supporting the mother's postpartum recovery. It showed me the power of comprehensive family care, and it definitely solidified my passion for this specialty. So definitely you will look to mold this for your own self, and make sure it's very relatable to you, and plug in an example for yourself. So the tell me about yourself is going to be a very strong question that you definitely need to know. Okay, let's see if you want to go over one more. Anybody wants to give it a try? Because I think it's all about practice. Anybody wants to raise their hand? Come on. Somebody said pathology. Khwaja Muhyiddin, pathology. If that's what you're interested in, I can work on that. I can definitely work on pathology if that's what you're interested in. Okay. No, we don't have pathology yet. Anybody wants to give a try? Let me select somebody. Rida, you want to give a try? Okay, Faisal Rashid raised his hand. Let's go with. Okay, Rida will try after Faisal. All right. Let me unshare my screen. All right. So. Okay. Excellent. All right, Faisal. Glad you are here today. How are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Dr. Khan. How are you?
I'm well. Faisal, I love to, I went over your CV and there's so many interesting things. But can you highlight a few of your important aspects? And I think we'll kick off the interview like that.
Sure, Dr. Khan. Thank you for having me today in your interview session. I come from district Laya of southern Pakistan. I was born and raised in that district. My district is famous for its sweet watermelons and its raw lentils, which I can make in a variety of ways. I got my education from Allama Iqbal Medical College, which is one of the top five medical schools in Pakistan, and it is attached to a tertiary care hospital. called Jinnah Hospital, where I got to learn how to organize myself, how to work in a multicultural and diverse setting, and how to see patients and manage patients in busy emergencies and wards. Outside of medicine, I have been part of multiple projects, a couple of community projects, and some volunteer work as well during my med school and outside of med school as well. In my med school, I've been a part of a project called Humans of AIMC, which is a social media page. I was an interviewer and a story writer there. And other than Humans of AIMC, I was also the dining area manager for the boys dormitory of my school. Excuse me. And I have also worked as a volunteer in an animals refugee society. Uh, I am I am a community-driven individual, Dr. Khan. I like to contribute to my colleagues and to the people where I am living, and I am also driven towards clinical research. A specific project that I want to mention here is a cardiology meta-analysis that we started working in 2022, and we published it a year later in the Journal of Electrocardiology. Currently, I am working as a clinical researcher at the University of Louisville's Department of Medicine for the past 1 year. I work there as a study coordinator in 3 different studies, particularly pneumonia studies. And I have also completed 4 clinical rotations at the University of Louisville Hospital. I am very eager to share my experiences with you, Dr. Khan, and to learn more about your program. Thank you for having me.
All right, great. Tell me more about this Humans of AIMC. What is this?
Uh, Thank you, Dr. Khan. Humans of AIMC is a social media page. It's a Facebook community for our school. We usually go to students and to the faculty members in our school working over there, and the people who work at the shops and at the canteens. We talk to them, we take their interviews and let their stories publish on our page. It was very much liked by our students and the faculty members. And we got to publish 15 stories when I was working there with my team. So it was a great experience, I would say.
Okay, that's good to know. Did you have a huge following?
Yeah, we have around 14,000 people who follow us on the Facebook page.
Great, great, excellent. Okay, great. So Faisal, very good. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on this. You definitely mentioned your non-medical aspects as well as your medical aspects. You definitely need to have a mix of this. Okay, great.
Thank you, Dr.
Okay.
Khan.
So the next person I think who raised their hand was Abdul Rafe. You want to give it a try?
Sure. Uh,
So
Good
Abdul
afternoon.
Rafe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Dr. Umar. Thank you for asking. Thank you for having me.
Definitely, it's my pleasure. And where are you right now?
I'm currently doing my prelim year at Westchester Medical Center.
Okay, great, great. Okay, great, excellent. And where are you applying to?
I'm applying to anesthesia.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And how's it? How's it right now? Your prelim year?
It's going really good. I just finished with my neonatal ICU block, which was a completely uplifting and overwhelming transition, just looking at critical care aspect in pediatrics. And I'm looking forward to my hematology oncology rotation starting tomorrow.
Great, great. Okay. So yeah, so can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I know you've already in the residency sphere of things, but just for a background, if you may, thank you.
Of course, I would love to. So I'm basically an international medical graduate from Pakistan. I was born in Lahore, but despite having born in Lahore, I lived in all of the country, all of the cities in Pakistan due to my father having a military background. And that really instilled in me the principles of adaptability and forging new friendships wherever I went. And during my medical school, that was a very defining feature of my life, which included a wide array of extracurriculars, including drama club, sports, debates, which really forged my speaking skills and my confidence. And at the end of which, I came to the US last year. I did rotations in 6 to 7 cities in the US, particularly Cleveland and Memphis. And I went back to Pakistan to do a 6 month mandatory internship in anesthesia and critical care. And I secured a preliminary pediatrics position, and that's where
Okay, okay, great. Are you looking, if I heard you correctly, you're looking for pediatric anesthesia?
that is my long-term ambition, but for now, I'm particularly focused on general anesthesia aspect, and I think my ambition of pediatric anesthesia is strongly strengthened by having done a preliminary pediatrics year to begin with, and then completing a general anesthesia training. I think this year will provide me with the basic foundation principles that should be expected of any pediatric anesthesiologist.
Okay, great, excellent. All right, good, good. So yeah, definitely. I you have a strong background. You already in this sense, and I think you should be ready. I would just plug in a bit more about yourself personally. Definitely, your clinical side is very solid. Just plug in a bit more relatable aspects. I think that'll be fine. You're pretty good, pretty good.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right. So I think we had Stefan.
Yes, yes, Stephen.
All right, Stefan. So, um, tell me about yourself. I think you're interested in family medicine. Um, tell me a little bit about yourself. How do you connect with family medicine?
All right, thank you so much for having me. My name is Stephen. I grew up in Nigeria in Africa, though I spent a bit of my time in Australia before migrating to Canada, where I reside currently. I had my first degree in accounting. That was like something I did not plan for, but it happened. After spending some years in Canada, I had to go back to my childhood dream of going to medical school. It was a tough decision because then I've gotten a family, but I've always had a dream of being a physician. But events of life in Africa couldn't allow me to go to med school when I was very young. So I had to go back to school again to take up another bachelor's degree in biomedical sciences before migrating or before moving to doing medicine. So in medical school, I worked so hard and I was on my dean's list for both basic and clinical science because of my high grade in medical school. And then during my clinical rotations, I also was in the dean's honor list. I had several patient encounters that's made me to believe that family medicine is the best option for me because I saw that family medicine has a holistic approach to patient care, which was my primary reason for going into medical school. And for me, to keep myself up to date with evidence-based medicine and having the best competency in managing my patients, I got involved into research. So I've published like 3 papers looking more into COVID-19 impacts and the vaccinations of COVID-19, as well as deaths related to obesity and diabetes. After medical school, I love to spend time with my family. I do fishing here in Canada during summer and winter. And I think, yeah, we'll dive more into more of my personality as we go into this interview. But for now, this is what I have to tell you. Thank you so much.
No, great, excellent. So, um, I really like it when there are candidates who have had different experiences and their background is fairly varied. Now, because what I've seen over the years is that they bring something fresh and new to the program. And in the past, people who have had different experiences, they actually add value to the program. And moreover, we've had people with business experience in the past, but you have an accounting experience as well as a biomedical experience. So I would love to, in the future, maybe we can connect and talk about your biomedical experience. We do have a biomedical engineering department with the university we're connected with. Um, would that be something you would be interested in the future to collaborate with?
Of course, I'm very much open to that. I'm more into research, and my goal is to be a holistic physician that will care for patients. So anything that will make me to be that holistic physician, I am very much open to that. That would be a welcome idea for me.
Great, excellent. The other thing I noticed was in your background. Let me just open your background back here. You had is that family just for your family's connection, or the sign that you have at your back?
Yeah, no, this is just like my house design. I'm
Okay,
right now in my home, so it doesn't have anything to do with family medicine interviewing,
right.
but it's just natural background I have prior to now.
Got it. Okay. So I just want to share. So for example, I normally, you guys see this? You guys see this or no?
Yes, we can say.
So anything that you have that you can, that sense that tells them anything additional about yourself. For example, I have a different YouTube channel and I had 100,000 subscribers on that YouTube channel, right? So
Okay.
if I like stick it over here, they will easily see this. Oh, what is that at in your background,
Yeah.
right? If you have a certificate that you got for some place, stick it in your background.
Okay.
If you are a painter, you have a specific painting you drew yourself, stick it, it's just stick it in the background. So it will just add a little bit of a dimension to yourself. Okay, great. Okay, now Rida, you want to go ahead?
Sure, I'd love to. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to let me interview with you today. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Rida Fatima, and I was born and raised in Pakistan. That's where I got all of my education from, including my medical education. During med school, I not only learned about the nitty-gritty of medicine, but also participated in every extracurricular activity it had to offer. I specifically remember being the president of Iqbalian Volleyball Club, and just organizing tournaments, and that really instilled in me the spirit of teamwork, sportsmanship, and I understood how to delegate tasks and make an efficient workflow. In addition, I also participated in arts society, and I'm basically a painter, and I also sketch. So I stayed connected to my creative side throughout my medical journey. Then I graduated last year and did a 1-year internship at Jinnah Hospital in Pakistan. That's where I solidified my decision of pursuing internal medicine based on my experiences in different rotations throughout that year. Then I came to the US and gained about, I think, 5 months of clinical experience over here to basically compare the two healthcare systems. And then, based on the more streamlined training programs in the US, more robust didactics, I decided to pursue further training here. I currently live in Valhalla, and I'm working as a research assistant at Westchester Medical Center.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think, do you have any picture of your the sketches that you made?
I do, and currently I don't have them in my background because my husband is using that space, and that's Rafi. So he's using that space. So that's why I don't have them, but I will have them in the actual interview.
Okay, great, great, great. Okay, yeah, just have, yeah, that's fine. Um, depending on where you interview, they may have screen sharing options. So maybe you can show, oh yeah, these are my drawings.
Okay.
But yeah, always have something just to show. That'll be interesting.
Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, before, I think we'll take one or two more before we jump on to the next topic. Okay, Pakiza, I think you had your hand raised. I think she just went off. Usman. All right, Mr. Usman. Dr. Malik. If you're muted, you just have to unmute yourself. Okay, so let's go to Noor. I think Noor has her hands raised.
Hi.
Hi, Noor. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I am well. Where are you right now?
I'm in Lahore, Pakistan right now.
Oh, great. What's the time over there?
I think it's 7:30 p.m.
You
Yeah.
think or you know?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Great, great, great. How's the weather?
It's all right. It's better than before. Like it's less hot, so it's good.
It must be getting colder. It's still not cold in Lahore. It's what is this? Almost September.
It's
End of
not cold. It's not cold, but the weather is milder now.
Okay,
But
great, great.
definitely not cold yet. Yeah.
Okay, good, good, good. All right. Have you been to the US before?
Yeah, I have been to the US. I was actually there in August and September of this year for my US clinical observerships.
Okay, great, great. Yeah, that's good to know. Which what type of observership was that?
So I observed at the University Health Truman Medical Center, which is in Kansas City, and I had rotations at the internal medicine department, and I also rotated at the cardiology clinic and at the hem-onc clinic as well.
Okay, great, great, great. Okay, great. Yeah, so we're just going over our candidates today, and love to talk to you as well. Can you tell me a little bit more about yourself, maybe a little bit of your background, and if you had any research experience, please do touch on that as well.
Sure. So I grew up in Lahore, Pakistan, and I come from a humble background, but I grew up in a very loving and supportive family. And growing up, I was always very close to my aunt who lived with us. She suffered from certain medical conditions, and I grew up taking care of her. And I think that is what made me very sensitive to the pain of the people around me. And I think that was what developed for me, what developed an interest in medicine for me. And I decided to pursue medicine. I graduated from Allama Iqbal Medical College in 2020, which is like one of the top med schools in Pakistan. And I graduated with honors. And after that, I did my house job from Jinnah Hospital, Lahore, which is a tertiary care hospital in Lahore. And then I started my residency in internal medicine in Pakistan. So right now, I'm in the third year of my residency. And during my residency, I have had the opportunity to work in different leadership roles. I have worked as the registrar of the medicine unit, and I have also had the opportunity to work as the resident in charge of the medical students. And other than that, I love to interact with my co-residents. I like to go out with them for like dinners and lunches and on one-day trips as well. So I love that part of my residency, interacting with the co-workers. And other than that, I have been involved in some research work. I did a cross-sectional study with some of my friends back in med school. We conducted the study in the OPD of the pediatric OPD of Jinnah Hospital, and it was on the incidence of diarrheal diseases and respiratory tract infections in infants up to 6 months of age with regards to the feeding modes that they had. Um, Other than this, I have been involved in some volunteer work. And in my free time, I enjoy photography. I'm an amateur photographer, of course. During med school, I participated in some photography contests as well. And yeah, other than this, I enjoy cycling. I go cycling about 3 to 4 times a week just to keep healthy. Yeah, that was a little bit about myself.
Okay, very good. All right, great. So I have an interest in photography as well. Do you use a DSLR camera or a mirrorless camera?
I use a DSLR camera.
Okay, if you don't mind
It
me
is it
asking,
is a sorry.
if you don't mind
Sorry.
me asking, which cameras do you use? Are you a Nikon shooter or a Sony or a Canon?
I use a Nikon D4900.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think my first camera was a Nikon D3200. Great. Yeah, maybe you can share some of your pictures sometime. But great. Okay, a couple of things I found good in your answer. So a lot of times, when I'm interviewing, people will say that okay, I'm from a poor background or a remote area, and they sort of say that I had a bad background, I had a poor upbringing, and all that stuff. So that sort of, to me at least, and what I've discussed with other people, puts a bad taste. But you were like, I have a very good, loving family. You are coming in with a base of strength. Some people may end up saying that okay, um, they don't help females in our culture, and some people may say that, and I've had people say that, but that doesn't go well. You don't know what is the political understandings of that person that you're interviewing with. So you don't want to get political or, gender issues. You don't want to bring that up as much. And you are perfectly solid in your answer that I had a very loving family, supporting family, and that's great. So always be confident. And then other aspect you mentioned was you're in your third year of your residency. So you could say, yes, I'm in third year of my residency and I'm proficient in all of these procedures. You're probably into center lines, A lines, maybe intubations. You're pretty good with all of these things. Then you mentioned about your research. One thing I would want to adjust with your research answer is you mentioned about your research. You should have a line, and we found this as the end result. We found this, and we're looking to study this a little further. This led us to explore this question a little further. So you talked about your study topic, but you need to talk about what you found out. What was the end result? Okay. And yeah, good. Excellent. All right.
Thank you.
Excellent. Great. Okay. So next,